Good morning, East Baton Rouge Parish. This is Jeffrey Johnson here over at CTEC. I'm being joined by Coach Scully.
What is going on, everybody? I am Coach Scully, your resident analyst and expert caster here on the desk for today's event.
Looks like they accidentally started the match a little early.
Yeah, that is a very common issue to happen, especially in the younger crowds of Rocket League, as the match gets started a little bit too early, and then you have to run it back out of this event and restart the matchup. Happens more often than you would think, even in the professional zone.
I assume it has more to do with just they're young and they're excited and they're ready to go?
Oh, absolutely. The energy is high. You get an in-person event like this, right? You're not playing online anymore. You're not playing random faceless ranked players. You have a crowd. You have an audience. You have people in front of you. You have commentators spectating. And it's just a good time.
For those of you who are new to our broadcast, here in East Baton Rouge Parish, we have our monthly CTEC events where we compete Rocket League, Smash Brothers, Madden. You're going to be watching the Rocket League matches if you're watching this on our Twitch stream. And this is going to be the last regular competition before the season finales that are going to happen on the first weekend in May.
Season finales coming up. Tell us a little bit more about the season finale. Is there anything special that goes on during that time?
Well, naturally, we're going to have our top 4 players for Madden and our top 4 players for Smash going up against each other. I'm not 100% sure how the tournament's going to work for Rocket League, though. They may have been making a bracket that I haven't been keeping my eye on. Over at Northeast High, we mostly run a Smash team. We just shoutcast the Rocket League matches whenever they go live.
I love that. I love that. And, you know, there's always things going on in the background of things like this that us broadcasters don't always know of or not always aware of. And the teams are rejoining the lobby now. And, look, I'm excited to get everybody in here. I'm excited to see what the rest of the season has and future seasons. I hear a lot of big plans for this event, a lot of plans to update it, to expand it, to make it even better than it already is.
Absolutely. We're looking at adding some new games to our repertoire. I'm going to use a fancy word because I'm a teacher. And we're looking at adding maybe Minecraft, Dance Dance Revolution, Clone Hero. I think I saw City Skylines, Beat Sabers, and there was one other I'm having trouble remembering which one it was.
Oh, yeah, this everything from Minecraft to Clone Hero, and I've seen a lot of people having fun with these different games, and you know, there's some of them like City Skyline. How do you make a competition out of that? I'm very interested.
I think the idea behind that is start them with a time limit and a preset amount of money to see who can build the most efficient city, I guess. I'll be honest, I don't know much about Skyline, but here we go on our first tip-off. They're playing the first to 7 points or 5 minutes. And let's see, we got our first shot at the goal, but it was unfortunately messed up. So this looks like it's going to be BR High versus, did you catch the name of the orange team? Villa Del Rey. Villa Del Rey is an elementary school. Baton Rouge High, this is their first competition I've ever seen them at. They've got a team put together, and that looks like first goal for Baton Rouge High.
Look. I love to see that. The nice pass off the backboard. And I was talking to some of the Baton Rouge High players beforehand, and they had mentioned that they are high platinum players looking at that diamond rank. They're so close to getting there. So we are going to see those beginner level aerials. We are going to see those beginner level passes starting to develop with these players, starting to figure out how to actually play the game. I always say platinum and diamond is where you start getting serious about this game, and I'm excited to see these players here to show off what they've got.
And we have another score for Baton Rouge High, bringing the score 2-0 with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock. So you mentioned platinum, so how should I feel as a bronze?
As a bronze, you should feel about 800 lower. And whatever that means to you is how you should feel.
So, question for you. It looks like we got almost a shot on the goal by Villa Del Rey. But how long does it take to get to those kind of levels? How many hours of practice are you having to put in?
It is a lot, right? This Rocket League, what's special about this game, for anybody who doesn't know, is the amount of mechanics, right? You think of going to train for a real sport. Every muscle movement, every ankle movement. If you want to kick a soccer ball at the net, it is so.
And a third goal by Baton Rouge High, bringing the score 3-0 against Villa Del Rey. So this is my first time seeing Baton Rouge High, but they are, like you said, those platinum levels means they have come already prepared for this level of competition.
Exactly. Like I was saying, it's so technical. Every single muscle movement that you want to make your card do, you have to make it happen yourself. There's no preset animations. There's nothing guiding you into it. Everything you do is the same that the pros have. You just got to make it happen yourself. And the amount of hours it takes to get to plat, it's well over 100. Well over 100. These players have put in the time, effort, and energy. And I know I'm not even at the Grand Champ level myself, which is one of the highest ranks in the game. And I have over 3,500 hours in the game. So this is not. The effort and the talent on display is not something to be taken lightly. It has been hours of stress put into it.
And I'm glad you mentioned how much effort these students are having to put into their game, because, of course, every now and then we still deal with some parents who are like, oh, video game is a waste of time, when this shows teamwork, communication, practice, dedication.
Absolutely, 100%. It is a frustrating game. It is so repetitive. Everything is the same every single time. You want it to be different, you have to make it different. If you want it to be changed for the better, you have to be that change. I'm a coach in a semi-professional world of Rocket League, and the amount of effort and dedication I see from those players, the amount of things that they learn mental health-wise, mental performance-wise, all the way to dedication, accountability, consistency, and just everything that you could possibly want to learn from a traditional sport is right here in the esports world in a more accessible environment to the student.
So I noticed that BR High's goalie, defender, I'm going to use the term goalie because I remember some soccer when I was a kid. He came out of the net to run the ball down the field after he blocked it a while back. That's called rotation, right? When you switch positions on the field?
Yes, that's actually a really good point. In Rocket League, the idea of full-time goalie is border, I don't want to say juvenile, but it is a more rookie move to make, right? Full-time goalie is just something you can see right now Villa Elementary implementing as they're a little bit newer to the game. They haven't figured out the concepts of rotation. That's more of a gold and platinum level thing that you start getting into a little bit later on in your experience.
And I'm glad you're bringing up that the amount of practice it takes to get good at these type of games. I've had students over the years who have been like, I don't feel like I'm doing so well. And it's like, well, if you're an elementary school student and you're going up against a high school student, you're dealing with more muscle memory practice that those kids already have in place. You're dealing with more practice kids have put in. This isn't just something you can just pick up and start getting good at. You have to put in the time and effort, and that can take years, right?
It very well can take years, right? I've been playing this game for 5 years, and the level of competition that I can participate in is rudimentary to some of the players that I work with on a regular basis who are playing for, the money tournament. And that's another really cool thing, is there is money in these events. I have some of the people who cut checks for me in professional level events that are high school students themselves who just fell in love with the game, put the hours in, and started learning the soft skills to run the production on the back end.
And that is one of the things we're trying to do here with East Baton Rouge Parish Esports League. Is this isn't just about playing video games. This is also about learning, like you said, the back end of things.
Oh, what a save!
That was a good save by this is Villa Del Rey. That's orange, right?
Yes, Villa Del Rey.
That was a really good save on their part.
Yeah, the team Baton Rouge High came in with reckless abandon right at the net with a bunch of power and great accuracy, and the ability of that player to be able to take that muscle memory, take that reaction time, and get up there. That's a good showing for these obviously lower ranked players than their opponents. That's always a confidence boost.
And that looks like another goal for Baton Rouge High, bringing the score 4-0 with only 4 seconds left on the clock. Now, I don't like to be a downer and say bad things, but I don't think Villa Del Rey can come back from this one.
It'll be very difficult. These are best of 3 series, right? So best 2 out of 3 games will be played. And so it's not their last and final chance, but there's definitely a skill difference between their opponents. And while strategy and different things can help with that, it just comes down to a point where, hey, you got to put in the hours to get the results. And this is high schoolers versus elementary, right? We all have one bracket. We don't have an expansive enough environment to have skill-based matchmaking in these tournaments. So that's another thing we're trying to accomplish here, expanding the event, expanding the tournament, expanding what we have going on to make a skill-based event.
Absolutely. That's one of the things. Oh, we got to ready up. I am hoping that over the next couple of years, we can get more high school teams going. We can get more middle school teams going. All right, so just so everyone at home knows, we just found out that because we have so many new teams joining this weekend, which is such a great thing, we may not be doing best 2 out of 3 per setup, per match, per setup, you might say. So right now, it looks like we may be switching teams to get ready to go to another layout. But one of the things we were talking about earlier about getting those different teams so we can have skills-based competition, the more high schools that we have sign up, the more likely we can have just a high school league. Same thing for middle schools, same thing for elementary schools. The more of those teams that sign up, the more we can have elementary school only versus elementary school, middle school versus middle school, and so forth. That way we can tier the students up and keep their education going from one level to the other. I'm not sure how the noise cancellation is going on this microphone, but if you hear some noise in the background, that's going to be Isaiah from Northeast High, my co-shoutcaster when we do Games of the Week. He is currently hosting and shoutcasting for the Smash teams, which are currently playing in another part of the building. And you can, if you can hear him, you can hear how much energy he's bringing to the event, which is just absolutely wonderful to see. But don't forget, you can always catch on East Baton Rouge Parish's Twitch stream our Rocket League Games of the Week. And we still have one more monthly competition in May before the end of the season. I'm sure the fill-out form is going to be posted for that soon enough, so that you can, if you're interested, register to play. All right, so we're getting set up for the next Rocket League match. They're over there right now adjusting the team's name, so it's nice and easy to see who's doing what. All right, so here we are. We're getting ready to have Southeast Gold Team versus Woodlawn Middle School. Both of these are middle schools. Southeast has so many good students who are participating in the matches that they're able to field 2 teams, it looks like. Because I see on the bracket Southeast Gold and Southeast Blue. It'll be interesting if it comes down to the 2 of them in the finals.
7 or 8 computers all working at the same time, the lobby being pulled up, the students trying to get to their desk, get their everything ready and set for them to play.
All right, we're coming in.
And look at the screen, folks. We have everything set up so far, and I'm gonna pull up the scoreboard. We got Southeast Gold on the blue, Woodlawn Middle on the orange. Do not forget that.
I like the fact that Southeast Middle has had so many students who wanted to sign up for this to keep their grades right, to show good sportsmanship. They can field 2 teams today.
Fielding 2 teams it's awesome, right? Like he said, like you said, Jeff, the ability to field that many players, to keep the grades up, to keep this many people committed to excellence in order to be able to come here and play. And that's another motivation that you have with the esports scene, is that, you know, if you want to be a part of this, it's just like anything else. You have to earn your spot through your academics, through your conduct, through your discipline, through the lack of disciplinary actions taken against you. You have to deserve to be here. And these students are shining examples of that effort come to fruition. Onto the pitch right now comes the Southeast Gold versus Woodlawn Middle, pulling up the scoreboard yet again. Of course, we have the generic name, so we're not going to know the players individually, but the teams are set. They are ready. Kickoff is underway.
As we go in this, that was a nice shot on the goal, then blocked by Woodlawn's in blue, right? Yeah, Woodlawn's in blue.
Southeast Gold.
That was a nice tip-off by Southeast Gold.
Southeast Gold in blue, Woodlawn in the orange.
A lovely header.
And yeah, that was a great kickoff, coming in with that pinch kickoff in the middle of the field. Unfortunately, it was uncontested, and they were able to get that dramatic pinch onto the net. Normally, those go a little bit higher, but fortunately for Southeast Gold, they were able to get that quick. Unfortunately for Southeast Gold, that did not go airborne, and I'm sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up in my head. You've got me confused, Jeff.
Well, you know, that's just my job as a teacher is to confuse everybody.
I mean, that's factual. That's factual.
Right? Right. I'm a teacher, therefore I'm a terrible person.
Exactly. That is the narrative that I have been fed.
But also, while I'm looking back there, I'm glad to see our coaches are back there with their kids, cheering their kids on. Looks like we have other members of the teams also back there behind their players. Good teams work there, and we have our first goal tonight. Southeast Gold got their first score against Woodlawn, bringing the score 1-0 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
And what an unfortunate series of events. You're trying to defend your net, and you get a pinch off of your opponent going all the way across the field, somehow landing in their net. That's super fortunate for Southeast Gold, but man, Woodlawn would like that one bad.
So this is why, as far as I understand it, you can correct me if I'm wrong, rotation is so important. Everybody comes out of the net, but somebody has to get back in there in the net.
Right. So what you think about as far as regular soccer is going to be a solidified defender, an established front man, and a stationary middleman, or a series of these men trying to make things happen together. But what you're actually going to see in the Rocket League threes is going to be first, second, third, and those positions will interchange dramatically. First man is the one that makes a push. Right now, you have the player up there making a first man push, bringing the ball into the side of the opponent's field. Second man normally would like to sit in the middle of the field, ready for the pass. Their job is to play the win. If there's a success, there's a pass. If there's a ball that pops out to the mid, that's his. And then third man, you're going to see as being that last defender, the last man back. Still part of the offense, mind you. Still ready to make a 1, 2, 3 push into the net. But when push comes to shove, he is the one that goes all the way back. And this is early stages of Rocket League, right? These players haven't learned these concepts. They haven't been able to establish them. That's why you see the clutter. That's why you see everybody together. But that's also why you see the brief moments where everybody spreads out the field, where everybody gets away from each other. Those brief moments show that coaches are there, that people are trying to teach them how to play, and they're learning.
So last year, when we first started our Rocket League team over at Northeast, I was very fortunate to have several players who were very experienced. And they taught me terms like rotation, first, second, third position, things like that. And so I have some experience in that. And what I was trying to point out was that sometimes we as coaches are still learning along with the kids.
Especially in these scholastic environments, right, where it's volunteer teachers coming in just to fill a need because they believe in the program, they believe in their students, they believe in the ability for these kids to
No one is blocking that goal right there. And that's now a third goal for Southeast against Woodlawn.
Southeast has come to play as they are taking advantage of the missed opportunities from Woodlawn as that net finds itself wide open. The rotation's failing, and this is why they're important. And as we were saying before, Jeff, I love the commitment to the teachers.
And right off the kickoff. All right, here we go for another kickoff. I'm starting to learn new terminology from Coach Scully here. I'm not supposed to say tip-off, I'm supposed to say kickoff.
Yep. Tip-off is used in the Rocket League scene, but it's very seldomly used, and it always makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why.
Well, we have our soccer coach at our school, and he taught me how to say pitch. Is that the correct term for Rocket League?
Yep. Pitch is very much used in Rocket League, right? We're going into the front right corner of the pit. A shot on target, but does not find its way in between the goalposts. Going to find itself wide right.
Now, I see all three teammates from Woodlawn Middle trying to run the ball downfield.
Yep, all three Woodlawn players.
Looks like one of them might have pulled back to the goal. Am I seeing that right? No, that's an empty goal.
No, that is completely empty, and that is the danger of a three-man push, right? When you clutter up like that, you run the ability to where one play can beat three players, and that's never something you want to have. One push should never beat more than one player, and if you do get to the point where a singular push does beat your entire team, you know that there is something called an overcommitment has occurred on the field, where your team has, as the name suggests, overcommitted for the ball.
30 seconds left on the clock. 4-0 in favor of Southeast.
Southeast, much like Baton Rouge High, has come here to show what they're made of, come here to play and play. They have a nice pass off the corner. Is anybody going to be there in the middle of the field? It's going to be up to the Woodlawn middle to push it away. They do for momentarily. The clock is ticking down to the final seconds of the matchup. Coming out back in front of the net. Can Southeast get it there in the last seconds? And at the 0-second, number 5 comes into the net, adding a little bit of insult to injury, but that pride is going to do them well as they move into the next stage of the competition.
So instead of doing 2 out of 3, what we've actually, because of the number of teams that have committed and shown up to participate, we're just doing best of ones for each one. So Southeast now moves on to the second tier for the brackets. And we'll be right back. For those of you who are at home watching, the next matchup is going to be Southeast Blue versus Scotlandville High. That's Southeast Blue versus Scotlandville High. Here we are getting ready to set up for Scotlandville Blue versus, Southeast Blue versus Scotlandville High. This is Southeast Middle School's second team versus Scotlandville High, who's been a part of our competition all season long. Now, one of the things you might not have known about that we're doing here in East Baton Rouge Parish, we've talked about how we're trying to do not just playing the video games, but also teaching the students other soft skills, get into the business side of things. Here at CTEC, the building that we're currently sitting in while we're having this competition today, they're teaching students how to build arcade cabinets. So not just the carpentry, but the engineering, the coding software, every step of the process to give these students the experience they need as they get ready to go on to the next bigger and better things in their lives. Here we go for the kickoff. They're going 1st to 3 now as we get deeper and deeper into the match.
Right, time constraints are pushing us to try to speed up the matches just
and that was Southeast Middle School with the kickoff.
Time constraints are forcing us to try to speed up the matches just a little bit. So first team to 3 goals wins or until time runs out.
All right, looks like Scotlandville Middle was running. That's Scotlandville High. All right, so the orange school is Scotlandville High School. The blue team is Southeast Blue. And it looks like Southeast Blue just scored the first game of the match.
Southeast Blue. It's about time Southeast gets on the right side of their color scheme, because that was a little bit confusing saying Southeast Gold while they were on the blue team.
Here we go for the next kickoff. I like how Southeast pulled back just a little bit so that he could catch the ball after Scotlandville kicked it off.
That's a great strategy. Love to see when people back off the ball. Look at the shot. This right here, that method where the player plays in front of the play, driving backwards to its own net, controlling the pitch in that way, is called shadow defense. You are shadowing the opponent, the attacker, as they're coming towards your net, trying to make your next move at the right time. Oh, and the demo comes through. An open net there, and it will be scored by Southeast Blue.
Good job. That brings the score 2-0 in favor of Southeast Blue with 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. Southeast Blue has clearly been putting in some of the time and practice efforts.
You can definitely see some experienced players on their side. Shadow defense is a more advanced technique to use. You're not normally going to see it from newer players. Oh my goodness, and just like that, a nice inverted kickflip up, and watch how he goes inverted right here. What this does is it keeps the line of the ball above the prediction line of the opponent. They see ball, they do not see the opponent's car, so they're expecting a downward angle, but The ball comes in at an upward angle because of that inversion, and it does very well throw off a lot of players, even at high levels.
And I played enough to know that if you don't angle your car at the right way, you're going to send the ball going in a direction you weren't planning for it to, because physics is 100% a part of this.
Yeah, this is 100% a physics-based game. The physics engine that is used to calculate this is normally extensive in the game itself.
So Southeast Blue is advancing in the brackets. That'll be on the third round. Our next matchup will be Westdale Heights Elementary versus Park Forest Elementary. So if you happen to have students in those, that is again Westdale Heights Elementary versus Park Forest Elementary. Get ready to tune in and watch your students play. It's possible to get custom flags on the cars where you can show your team. Or custom decals.
It has its possibilities, but those are very difficult to do. There's a mod called Bacchus Mod. It's a safe mod to use, and very off the get-go, Westdale Heights are going to show us a quick attack in the first 9
Less
seconds
than
of the
10
competition.
seconds on that one.
Absolutely outstanding space to hustle towards that ball. But yes, custom decals are possible. It's just very hard to implement and normally are not visible to other players. I do not know how that would work in a LAN environment, however, but Bacchus Mod normally only shows locally to your own screen custom-made graphics.
And here they are, they're battling down on Capitol Middle side of the field as Westdale is trying to get in a goal here. Or did I get the team song for it? I did get the team song.
Right. Park Forest is on the defense yet again. A little bit of a double commit right there by Westdale. Now we have Park Forest bringing it out over to the left side.
There's Westdale's defender coming out to get that ball going. And now that he's taking control of the ball or tipped it, someone else should rotate into the net. That unfortunately did not happen. Leaving the net open for
Park Forest.
For Park Forest to come in and grab the score.
And that is exactly, you're right, that's what should have happened, Jeff, is that we should have seen somebody go take that place in the net. You saw two players that tried, but the angle of approach into the net is also important. You want a back post style of rotation. That means you have to leave the play entirely, go to the opposite side of the net than the play is originating from. So if the play was on the left side, in that case, you want to go to the right side of the net where the play is opposite of, and that will give you angle. That will put your nose pointing towards the play. And I always say, headlights save more balls than taillights. Oh, look at that by Park Forest going into the Westdale net, trying to create demo plays, and that's a high-level strategy right there, trying to knock out the defender so your teammates can come behind you and make something happen. An open net in front of Westdale, unable to find the angle, and as you can see, the physics engine kicking in. He wasn't able to.
No one is back there
target.
defending the home net.
We see both teams trying to implement a full-time goalie strategy, and as you can guess, with the concept of rotation, that doesn't often bode best. And you can also see how momentum can play a key role, as that sitting still in the net makes it very hard to align your car, right? You put it into a direction where his nose wasn't facing. And when you approach the net from the back post with momentum, you can then realign your nose any way you see fit. It makes it a lot easier to save the ball, as you see right there from that save that we just witnessed.
Absolutely. You have to not just consider, am I heading towards the ball, but am I at the right speed? Am I at the right angle? Is the right part of my car going to be the part that connects with the ball?
And all these things are very much at the forefront of every player's mind, and it's a frustrating dance, a frustrating cacophony of stimuli that you must respond to in order to make that play happen.
Good defense by Park Forest right there, blocking the shot. Right now we're only at 2-1, so really anybody could still take this victory.
And we're seeing a lot of good defense by Park Forest so far. I mean, it is a fairly consistent front flip save after front flip save after front flip
And we're
save.
shooting at the net, and there we go with a nice defense, just nudging it off angle.
And then that is something that's undervalued a lot in the lower levels of Rocket League, is the most intelligent way to save the ball is into your own corner. The safety of your own corner is paramount to an established and extended defensive possession. And also, counterattacks can easily happen as you see into the corner, and now the next two players have opportunities to come in the ball. They do push it downfield onto the right side of Westdale's net. Finally, an offensive showing, offensive presence being established by Park Forest Elementary. Now Westdale trying to make the counterattack of their own, dribbling it on his car, and he does get it past. That is game for Westdale. Park Forest putting on a great show. Do fall victim to a well-executed dribble play.
That brings the score of 3-1 in favor of Park Forest.
Westdale.
Oh, sorry, in favor of Westdale. That actually means that Westdale has taken the victory. Good job, Westdale Heights. Westdale Heights will now move on to round 3 of the Rocket League brackets today. Our next matchup, for anybody who's waiting for it, is going to be Terra High versus Baton Rouge High. Terra High is currently the 3-month champion for the East Baton Rouge Parish Esports Rocket League. So we'll see how Baton Rouge High, who did their first event, we'll see how they're able to hold up.
Yes, Baton Rouge High has a lot of expectations coming into them as they're a new entry and already showed a great performance. Coming in at that high flat, low diamond level, they are some of the highest ranked players that we have seen so far today, and I'm excited to see them again, honestly, Jeff.
Especially if Baton Rouge High is new on the field with those, you said diamond rank?
High plat, low diamond.
High platinum ranked players, if they can give Terra High School a good run for their money.
And look, Terra has come in here with winning so much in the past that they have huge expectations, and I personally have yet to see them on the field, yet to see them on the pitch, and I'm supremely excited to see what they have. I'm actually pretty stoked to see if they can come and live up to the hype that this competition has generated for them. As you can see here, Terra High School will be in the blue, Baton Rouge High School in the orange for this following competition.
I hope that in the future, our Twitch stream, we'll be able to switch over to camera views of the event, of all the students walking around here, showing good sportsmanship, working together as a community. One of the things I love watching for the Smash matches is at the end of each match, both players usually just shake hands.
The sportsmanship has always been a great sight in esports. You know, toxicity normally doesn't happen one competitor to the next, right? The most places in the esports realm you will see the toxicity fester is going to be teammate to teammate, because the frustration is that you're covering your zone, or you think you're covering your zone, you're covering your responsibility, or you think you are, and you get beat when a teammate misses their perceived responsibility. And that's when we can come in as teachers, as coaches, as the adults, and teach valuable life conflict management skills and work through that, what's called in the esports realm, mental performance aspect of the game, which translate directly when applied to conflict management in the home, in the school, classmate to classmate, because these are students who have issues with each other in those very frustrating moments. And you can work through them in a very professional and mature way. Hey, that's personal growth granted by, you know, what we've all heard kids rage at the screen, Jeff. We've all heard them rage.
So many times. Just screaming frustration. One of my rules in our esports lab over at Northeast High is no trash talking each other. We're here to build each other up. So if you notice somebody is not as good as you are, especially on the Rocket League team, give them some pointers. Walk them through it. We've had a couple of kids over the years who've said, hey, today we're not competing, we're just practicing. I want to take you aside, and I want to run through some basic drills with you. and it's been really good. At the same time, when we have our younger players, our newer players who haven't gotten used to our way of doing things, they sometimes come in with a little bit of an attitude. We're usually able to work them through it. Be like, hey, that's not what we're here for. You're all part of a team. We've seen what happens here today. If you don't work as a team,
right,
you don't win.
You don't win. And that strategy is such a big part, especially at these lower ranks. You can get a gold level player to compete against a diamond level team based off of strategy alone. Of course, raw skill does come and play a difference the farther you get into the ranks. But strategy comes and plays a huge role. And you know these different situations that you're mentioning in your own classroom experience. It models great superior to like employer-employee relationship. It models great relationship dynamics, great communication skills for future, and what they should expect to be treated like when they are in that newer, fresher position.
So one more time, Baton Rouge High is in orange with Terra High School in blue. And here we go for the kickoff. And Terra High School is able to take control of the ball right at the kickoff, and it looks like they're centering it. But Baton Rouge High comes in with a good aerial defense.
This is so far showing itself to be the most mechanical display that we have seen so far. And for anybody who does not know, mechanics is the word that is used to describe a player's individual ability to manipulate both their car and ball. Looking at Terra High School right now with that great air dribble is what it's called, off of the wall. That is high-level mechanics on work right there. That is at least a champion-level player right there. Very similarly ranked to mine, either high diamond, low champ, and if we see more, we might even be able to get more insight into the level of play in which this man is competing at. Here comes now, as we see Baton Rouge High School making a push onto the right side of the field, pushing it over the middle, falling into the pitch. Now a counterattack coming in the way. Oh. This is okay. Yeah. They just came and changed some of the equipment for us. And now we can hear our coach instead.
Which has been pretty nice because over at the Smash tournament, our student ambassador and student shoutcaster Isaiah Williams is bringing all of his energy. And it's been a little rough hearing Coach Scully here over Isaiah.
Oh, yeah. The PA system in here is showing good quality audio, and it's making it very difficult to just, no equipment, hear each other over the noise.
So back here on the match, we're at 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And with Terra High School still in the lead, 1-0. Now, I've seen Terra High School play plenty of times. In fact, they played against our Vikings a number of times. They're good. And if Baton Rouge High has kept them only down to one score, that means Baton Rouge High is also bringing their best team.
Baton Rouge High showing themselves to be a true competitor in this competition.
I hope whoever their team sponsor is this year, the teacher that agreed to take care of them, I hope that same teacher keeps doing it next year. Even if that teacher isn't mechanically good at the game or necessarily knows what they're doing, clearly the students do, and the students can teach each other.
Yes, and as the students continue to start teaching each other how to play, teaching each other what to do, what to make happen, they're going to improve each other more and more as a squad, as a team, growing together. And you just see the air dribble ability of Terra High School. That is so scary to see coming at your net from the other side.
So air dribbling is what they are flying through the air, performing air maneuvers, but also controlling the ball at the same time, right?
Yeah, so a regular dribble would be holding the ball on top of your car on the ground, maneuvering it and manipulating it as you drive. Air dribble is the exact same thing, but in the air, much, much, much more difficult.
Well, I imagine so because you're now moving in 3 dimensions instead of 2.
Yes, and you have to combine so many controller inputs. That is air roll left or right, or free air roll, depending on what you choose to confused. That is getting the nice touch right there.
Good defense there by Baton Rouge High.
That's great defense. And they're trying to set up the air dribble. You can tell by the first touch they take, that little pop and break. Right? They're trying to get the ball to pop up nice and high so that they can follow it underneath with their boost, managing their resources while in the air to try to manipulate the car underneath that ball.
60 seconds left on the clock.
Less than 1 minute on this match between Baton Rouge High and Terra High School. Right now, Terra High School is in the lead 1-0. Both teams are clearly not in the mood to relax or give up even an inch.
Not in any way, shape, or form. And there's a shot on goal from Baton Rouge High, driving to put onto Terra's back half, aiming intelligently at the tail lights of the opponent, but he was able to pop it in reverse, Terry, just in time.
Absolutely. He was doing his job as a protector, as a goalie. What is the term, Coach Phil? Is it goalie?
That would be defender or goalie in that situation. Or either that or third man. Now it's
down to 10 seconds.
We'll have one last push. Oh, there's a double commit right there where they had a third. Were they to have a third man?
If they can keep it airborne. Nope. There we go. Terra High School takes the victory.
Were they to have a third man, they would have been able to push one more time at that ball floating freely in front of the net, but the double commit takes away that option. And in the most competitive matchup that Terra probably would have had to face today, Baton Rouge High School do lose that 1-0, and these are going to be the two teams to watch, folks, as we continue down this competition, as we continue into the event. Terra is going to have their work cut out for them later on when they have to re-meet these guys, which is undoubtedly going to happen in my book.
So for those who are at home watching, we're about to have match number 6 of the day. That'll be Capital Middle versus Southeast Middle School Gold. The winner of that match will go up against Westdale Heights Elementary in round 3. And then we'll be on to our final match our semifinal match, Terra High School versus Southeast Blue, and whoever wins this next match versus Westdale Heights. So don't go anywhere. We have a lot more excitement coming up.
Absolutely, and we might just be moving on after Capital Middle to the lower bracket to watch the gold bracket unfold. Rare opportunity to be able to see every single match in a tournament, and it's one of the reasons that we have to keep the length of everything so short, because we want to get everybody featured, every single student an opportunity to play on screen, on stream, cast it with the best of us.
All right, here we go with Capital Middle in blue and Southeast Gold in orange.
Capital Middle blue, Southeast Gold, orange. I love to hear it. I love to see it. We are going to get onto the field, and now again we are going until 3 goals scored. So, as we continue down into this competition, we have Southeast Gold in the middle of the field, pushing it down as they try to get an established offense onto the field. Ooh, what a 50-50.
Unfortunately, I currently see all three members of Southeast Gold's team out of the net.
Southeast Gold this time is the golden team. They are on the outside of the field. Makes it a little bit easier for us to remember the names and make sure that they
Absolutely.
Make sure that we're casting the right guys. Because when the name says one color and your card says another, even the best are going to get a little confused. Nice.
And a good shot on the goal, followed by a good defense, I would say, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a great, solid shot. A lot of power, accuracy. The defense was superb. Ready, willing, and able to go and take that ball right off of them. Now coming up is going to be that Capital Middle squad bringing the ball in front of the net, unable to capitalize on the opportunity. And now, just sitting there waiting, watching all of Gold team just pass by the ball. A little bit of potato league happening right there. And now, another opportunity. Look at that third man positioning from Capital Middle. That is what I'm talking about. The defender coming all the way around, solidified in their position, take possession of the position first, then possession of the ball. Great job being where you need to be and capitalizing.
That brings our score 1-0 in favor of Capital Middle School with just under 3 minutes left on the clock.
That is a good scoreline to have, but you want to be getting them a little bit faster. And as I say that, a double tap attempted, and this time a scuffed double tap actually completed. But that first one, look at the touch and the attempt to get back up to that ball. Lucky for his teammate that does not jet out into a random direction, sending it, missing the first shot, but luckily the ball rolls up that corner into that weird little angle and bounces back off his car. And now, match point, one more goal, and Capital will take this, and Southeast Gold will go 2 and out.
It was also a good demonstration of, never mind, there was the third goal. I was going to say, earlier on that second goal, we saw one player running the ball up the field, didn't quite make the shot, so the second player came in behind to finish knocking it in.
And that's what we call supporting your teammates, being there for your buddy, being there for your squad. And that is a consequence of natural good rotations. When you're able to support it, get that 1-2 strike going in, Capital Middle showing a great understanding, at least at an elementary level, a great understanding of what needs to happen in this game.
Absolutely. That's the kind of teams play we like to be supporting here in East Baton Rouge Parish.
And team plays are what we expect to see more and more as we continue down the competition. Moving now into the lower brackets, the next match we will come to watch will be Scotlandville versus Woodlawn in the lower brackets. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we see these high-level team plays coming up. But we're still going to see plenty of students put up a good, fair fight for what they're trying to earn here today. Which I assume, Jeff, we're fighting for bragging rights here today, right?
What's that?
We're fighting for bragging rights.
We are fighting for bragging rights, no disagreement there, but I believe there is like we see our belts that are up here on our table. There is a Rocket League belt. I don't know where it is right now. Jeffrey might have hidden it somewhere. But there is going to, or they're going to give them a very big trophy at the end of the season. Whichever team can take the victory.
Trophies and belts, little prizes like that mean a lot. You put them up on the shelf, you hang them somewhere, especially these belts. These belts are sick.
Absolutely. They put in a lot of time, effort, and love was put into making these belts for the kids. And it's also nice. So earlier during the fall semester, my Vikings Rocket League team brought home a victory, and we went ahead and put our trophy in the trophy case up at the front of the school, where all the other students would be like, wait, that's not a football trophy. No, it's not a football trophy. That's a Rocket League trophy.
Yes.
We're bringing the bragging rights back to Northeast High. We're bringing the trophies here, and just to show you that we're a real sport just like everyone else.
And that's something I feel like a lot of people have trouble accepting, is that esports is a real sport. Let's talk about Rocket League right now in the professional scene. What these students could look forward to right now is a year-long tournament with about 16 to 32 teams, and it is open qualification, so anybody can qualify for the event at any time if they get good enough to knock down one of the top dogs. Over the course of this year, Jeff, there will be $6 million in prizes given out. And that is probably 50% or less of the total funding that goes into all the production and background skills.
Which means you can definitely turn this into a professional living if you're good enough. Now, I heard recently from one of my other coaches that some universities aren't just offering partial scholarships, but offering full ride scholarships.
Oh, absolutely. There are full ride scholarships at universities all the time to come and play this game, and some of them are giving fairly substantial scholarships for even lower level, or technically lower level, more in the GC area. Still very good at the game, still thousands of hours invested, but not necessarily top level players, because of a league called CRL, College Rocket League. And this is also put on the same channels on Twitch and social media that the professional Rocket League tournaments are on. They get very similar viewership. They get a lot of exposure for professional teams. And there's many players that are professional players in Rocket League and CRL players. And you also got to remember the age gap, the age limit, there's no physical qualification to play. So you will have 17-year-olds all the way up to 25-year-olds, 28-year-olds, I think is one of the oldest right now, playing in professional Rocket League and college.
So pretty similar to how we have a wide age variety here today.
Very similar, yes. And that goes into the equity of the esports scene, where you do not have to be male, female, bump, weak. There's no physical barriers to entry. There's just the controller, the screen, and you. Can you make it happen? Yes or no? Do you want to make it happen? Yes or no? Join the team, come in. You want to be part of the experience.
Absolutely. Now, we may not have been talking about this match too much, but that's because both teams are providing great defense and great offense. So far, nobody has scored a match, and we are under 3 minutes left on the clock. But, there we go. Scotlandville High got the first score of this match, bringing it 1-0 with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left on the clock.
That is a great
Now,
score.
am I wrong, or did the other team accidentally nose that into the goal?
That, I didn't pay attention good enough. I was looking at the scoreboard, but that very well could have been an incidental own goal. It happens very often, even at the top levels, but it's not something you like to see. And it is alleviated by a term we have studied extensively today. Can you guess it, Jeff? Rotation.
Absolutely. Rotation is so very important. But absolute rotation is so very important, which is why right there, Scotlandville High was able to score in their second goal there. They were working together as a team, and that net was just wide open.
Exactly. As that net opens up like that, you are going to have the players attack it. You have to have the players attack it. You cannot miss out on free opportunities. And that is one of the keystones of a good team. When you are given a Christmas present, do you take it, yes or no? A good team is always want to take a free goal.
All right, looks like we got them running it down the field, but Scotlandville is coming up on the defense. And they were able to make sure that the aerial from Scotlandville wasn't able to connect with the ball. Woodlawn was able to move the ball just enough out of the way to where Scotlandville couldn't connect.
Scotlandville shoving everything at the net right now, trying as hard as they can to get a goal on. Now it's an offense coming on for Woodlawn High School, but it's quickly stolen away by Scotlandville. Now bringing it over to the middle of the field, dropping down center. Nobody is there ready for the shot. Their third man, who should have been there for that pass, is all the way in net, playing the full-time goalie role, which again is not an ideal strat, but it is very common at the lower ranks and lower levels of this game. It will be something that these players will grow out of with the right instruction and with the right dedication to continue their craft.
Absolutely. Sometimes we get players who come and join the team, and they're used to playing solo. And it's like, well, no, you got to learn how to play with a team here. You got to learn to work together. You can't always be the person running the ball. You can't always be the person making the scores. You have to work in rotation, like you were saying earlier, Coach, so that you can work as a team against a team.
Exactly. It takes 3 players to score. It takes 3 players to defend. Everybody taking turns. Everybody being there for each other. Everybody supporting. And right there you see an incident where 2 players go for the defense. Neither one of them are able to make contact, and that will be Scotlandville's victory.
Absolutely. Scotlandville, therefore, is going to move on in the bracket.
What I didn't see was the own goal. No wonder it was such an unexpected angle and they weren't able to react, because the touches from your teammates are always the hardest to defend.
So our next matchup is going to be Villa Del Rey Elementary against Park Forest Elementary. So if you're going to be watching this at home, make sure you get ready to cheer on your students.
Park Forest versus Villa. This is going to be a good matchup coming up yet again. We saw both these teams play before. Still fairly new to the game, each of them. So it's going to be a battle of wills to see who wants it more. We have Park Forest Elementary and Villa Del Rey Elementary. 2 elementary squads coming onto the pitch today to show us who should continue in this lower bracket.
Absolutely. Now we see here is Villa Del Rey is on the orange side with Park Forest on the blue. Park Forest is making a run at the goal, but they weren't quite able to get the angle there.
Park Forest on the blue side of the field, pushing onto the side. Now they have 2 players bunched up in the corner. And the disadvantage that has is when the ball does eventually pop in front of the net, the opportunity to score goes away because the second player isn't ready to take that shot.
And that's been one of our main themes here today is rotation with teamwork. Work together, and a lot of that talks with communication. All 3 members of each team are sitting really close to each other and perfectly capable of talking to each other. They just have to remember to actually tell each other what they're about to do.
Right. Communication is a highly debated topic, even at the highest level, right? Heavy communication is so beautiful when you see it perfectly. It's so beautiful when you see it done right. But it is only the icing on the top of the cake. You should be able to play Rocket League silently, right? Communication comes in, it just makes a good cake better. But if your cake is nothing but sloppy, communication is added icing. It's not going to make it work as a cake. You need to solidify rotation. You need to get good non-verbal communication on the field before the verbal comms can come in and solve major issues. And speaking about solving major issues, the major issues of being at 0-0 has been solved by Villa Del Rey as they have taken the first goal of this competition.
And I see your Villa Del Rey is clearing out their net and getting ready to center the ball and take it downfield as they get ready to try and go for their second score. Right now, nobody is protecting the net, but they got back in time.
The 3-man push defense, a scary feeling indeed, but they are able to save it away as the Villa Del Rey player was unable to get that last touch that might have given the ball the oomph that it needed to go across the goal line. Now, coming across the right side of Park Forest net is Villa Del Rey, putting it on another shot on target. Now it's coming around the left side as Villa needs to find a way to regroup and reattack before Park Forest gets there. They finally do. Now it's an open ball floating down the middle of the field. A bunch of misses, and then an open net for Park Forest, who are going to send it in, celebrating in the background. I can hear them clapping to their teammates. Great team cohesion and energy over there as the bump actually comes in and clears the way for the teammates. So a little extra excitement coming in for that teamwork.
Absolutely. That brings us up to a tied match right now, 1-1 with less than almost 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Remember, we're going to 3 goals, so right now it is still anyone's game.
Anybody, and it's only halftime right now, right? 2:30 on the clock. It's just halftime. We can see anything happen, and this is what I want to see, right? I don't want to see extremely skilled players. I would love to, but I get enough of that, no problem, every day. What I want to see is good competition. Students cheering in the background because their buddy just made an opening for them. I want to see a hard-fought victory in teams that shake hands with respect after the game, saying, hey, you gave me a run for my money.
Absolutely. That's one of those great things that we try to encourage here at East Baton Rouge Parish is let's develop those social skills of team play, of sportsmanlike conduct. You will get to the mechanical skills. You will get to the good part. But in the meantime, let's also get to where we can shake hands, still be friends, and compete again another day.
Absolutely. And just grow to love the competition, grow to love the game, grow to be appreciative of the opportunity. And look, a double demo coming through in their double demo attempt as we have Villa de Rey coming through and bumping not one, but two players trying to get the offense off the field so their defense can finally come and bring a counterattack opportunity on. They do get a pass 1-2. It's a shot on net, but it does go wide right. Now Parish trying to get it out for danger, put it in front of their own net. Villa's not able to capitalize on that golden opportunity. Like we said earlier, great teams will take Christmas presents whenever they are given. Opportunity now as Villa keeps on a beautiful fake, forcing the own goal. Look at how he pumped his brakes in the replay, right? Acting like he's going to go up for this ball, acting like he's going to make it happen, but ends up pumping his brakes out of either intention or undecision, forcing the opponent to make an odd angle, take the wrong approach, and ends up in an own goal. Villa up 1 now.
And with less than 1 minute on the clock, this could still be anyone's match. But right now, Villa del Rey is in the lead.
1 minute remaining. And look, the rule of thumb is 1 goal can be scored in 1 minute easily. But the pressure's on. The tension grows. As the 30-second mark is now there, a save right on the goal line would have been the winning goal for Villa de Rey. Now pushing out into the side of the middle of the field. It's an open net opportunity, but nobody from Villa is able to capitalize on it. Now, we have it now on Park 4's side of the possession. Bring it into their offensive end. Can they capitalize in the last 14 seconds? Nobody's there as the third man position. Villa is going to take it away. 10 seconds remaining. They might just chalk this up.
2-1, and can they keep it in the air? And no. So that is victory to Villa del Rey Elementary School. Congratulations to those students. I knew they were working real hard for that.
Villa going as much as they can, trying to make that happen. The comeback story for these students as they started off the game down, and in the last half were able to come back. Look, talk about being a second half team, Jeff. So talk about being a second half team.
Oh, absolutely. So being a second half team, we noticed this last year plenty of times with the Vikings, where you spend the first half of the game learning the other team's maneuvers, learning their patterns, seeing what you can do to get around them, and then the second half of the game, or even if you have more than one match, taking the second game and using what you learned and taking advantage of it and taking the victory in the end. It's not about how it starts, it's about how it ends.
Exactly. Finish strong. It makes me think of the book written by Drew Brees many years back, Coming Back Stronger after his injury, after the coming back with the Saints and everything. Coming Back Stronger is a great theme to use, and it was a great book for me personally to read, and it just translates so much into the sports career as individual moments like this where you have to not get downtrodden after the first half of a losing battle and come back later, but also seasons, life, everything as he went through all the different things they had to go through, and these players emulating that same thing in minor victories in smaller ways, teaching these lessons as they go.
Absolutely. It's one of the things I try to teach in my classroom all the time. It's okay if you messed up a little bit at the beginning. You can learn from that. You can grow, and then you can come back stronger, and you can finish off the school year the way you wanted to finish off the school year. You can do the same thing with any sports season, with life, like you were saying earlier. It doesn't matter, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter where you started. It matters what you do with it and how you finish.
Right. Every experience is a test of what we can learn from it. We should be looking at everything that we do with a sense of curiosity and self-awareness. Hey, I'm feeling this emotion. Hey, I went through this event. Hey, I went through these type of things along the journey. Curiosity should take precedence there and see what am I feeling, what am I learning, what can I gain in these moments. And of course, you got to do that in the right sense. You can't just sit there like, I learned nothing because I'm, mad right now. Take the time, grieve whatever loss you have, and come back stronger.
Absolutely. And we're not trying to say that at the moment of loss, you don't feel some frustration, you don't feel some negativity, but you've got to get, like you were saying, you've got to deal with that, get through it, and then get ready for the next run. Get ready for the next competition, the next test, the next job, the next whatever stage of your life is coming up.
Next job, haven't we all had to deal with that before?
Way too often.
Okay, now back to a little bit of crowd favorite for the mechanical ability. We have Baton Rouge High School in the blue, taking on Scotlandville in the orange. This is the ninth match of the morning, and Baton Rouge already coming out swinging at the net in the first 20 seconds, already having put on a shot on goal.
Also noticed that Baton Rouge High put out a demo there trying to take out one of Scotlandville High's defenders.
And I love that strategy, the demo strat, to take out the defenders, take out everybody who could be coming and being a nuisance for you, making sure that the back line of the field is empty and the next teammate behind you can come in. It's one of the ultimate team plays if you do it right? Go in front of your squad, go in front of the play, remove the defender. Oh, what he just attempted right there, everybody, is a nice high-level move called a doomsy ditch. Bringing the ball right around the outside of the wall, jumping in front of the net, and trying to get the flip angle in there. Extremely difficult because you have to stick close to the ball enough to get a second contact and get the momentum to go in. And what makes it so difficult is that you have to jump away from the wall. So momentum is taking you away. Again, a realistic physics engine in use here. So to come back after moving away, extremely difficult, almost making it happen. That, folks, is an example of an attempt at the doomsy ditch. Oh, a great shot coming there at the backboard for Baton Rouge High. They're having a shadow defense, a nice little backflip in the middle of the field to send it back onto the offensive side. Baton Rouge High is going to follow back up, bouncing on the backboard, sending it up. Unable to get the shot on target. It does roll up the backboard instead. And that gives the golden opportunity for Scotlandville to come back at this one and start a counterattack of their own. But the offense is short-lived as the full-time goalie is unable to play his role in the third-man spot. And sometimes you got that inexperienced player mixed with more experienced players. That's the only place that they feel really comfortable or useful. And, you know, sometimes you just got to let them play that game. And hopefully, throughout the process of being with the team, they learn the next best spot.
So, like I said earlier, we've been doing this now this is our second year as a school board doing this. And first shot goes to Baton Rouge High, who made the first goal of the game. 1-0 with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock. But what I'm saying is Scotlandville has been with us pretty much since the beginning of this season. And I'm glad to see that they are continuing to put in the practice, continuing to put in the effort. They're one of our original teams.
It's nice to see teams go on so long. And I remember last year that I saw the Esports lab at Scotlandville when I subbed there a couple of times. And I was really impressed because they were one of the only schools I saw with the Esports program. And then I started selling programs and started doing research into the area, noticing more and more schools trying to build it up at the same time that I was trying to bring it out to everybody. And it's a really encouraging thing that this system is starting to be brought out to more and more students. You see the competition happen. You see the dedication of the students. You can hear the cheers every time they score in the background right behind us. These kids love this opportunity, and I guarantee you all the staff loves putting it on.
Absolutely. We love to cheer on our students. We love cheering our kids. And we also love to walk around school and say, that's right. We have students who are earning scholarships. We have students who are competing, who are bringing home the trophies, who are bringing victories and good record to the school. It's a wonderful thing to see.
And right there, what we just saw was a backboard read from Baton Rouge High School as that bounced off the backboard and was read by a teammate. And almost a goal right there, opened that opportunity, but it will be taken away by the lone Scotlandville defender. Now rolling upfield for the Scotlandville counterattack, and they can have a 3-man or pushing right now. Can they all support each other? A little bit of confusion on the side. Not able to take the right turn, but it's okay. The lessons are still to be learned on how to make this happen. Another opportunity for the defender is going to put it into the corner, intelligently putting it in the right direction. Now, open in front of the net. Scotlandville ready and willing to take this out. Now, can Baton Rouge get in front of it? They pop it off the wall, unable to have
60 seconds left on the clock.
there. That's not going to go well. They see Tara again. Going to want to try to run and it's going to free time to really put forth the level of competition that they're showing their dedication to hold. Oh, an attempt to bounce off the wall coming in, and it does go in the pass off the sidewall to the midfield player. Look at the bounce, and a nice little front foot going to pop that high. Nice little lob falling right underneath the crossbar. Those are so hard to read, right? Even at higher level. You got the up angle first, but then the momentum just ceases and it drops. Oh, and right underneath the crossbar, there was no saving that.
So that victory went out to Baton Rouge High, which means they will be moving forward into the brackets. I'm waiting for them to update the brackets so I can let y'all know who our next match is going to be between.
Next match is going to be
Tara High School versus Southeast Blue, if I'm reading that correctly.
No, it's going to be Southeast Gold versus Villa de Rey. We're still in the lower brackets. We have not been able to make that happen. 9 and 10. Right.
On a personal note, while we're waiting for the next match to show up, I'm looking over at the Smash commentating going on, and Isaiah Williams, our Smash shoutcaster, is currently, letting younger students, younger kids get early practice with it.
And that's so invaluable to get up there, get in front of everybody. It feels awkward and exposing when you first do stuff like this, but once you get more comfortable with it, it's a really awesome feeling to be able to be here and commentate and show that side of yourself, that showmanship part of yourself, and just especially in this safe environment with all your friends, with all your classmates here. You just get up there and tell everybody what's going on, show off your buddies' gameplay. Extremely exciting. And you said, I am thoroughly enjoying listening to this man in the background, just bringing all the hype to this entire competition event. He's walking around he's walking around the venue, getting next to people, making sure everybody knows his presence and everybody is hyped for the games that he's casting, and the younger students following him around with mics as well. I love to see it. Guys, it's actually kind of adorable.
He is a character actually at school as well. He brings all that same energy out in the hallway. It always makes it very easy to find him in the crowds.
You love those people, right? They bring so much energy and always got interesting things to say. It's never a boring conversation of being a D&D nerd as well, and you know what it feels like to have that charisma stat high.
Absolutely. Right now in D&D, I am playing a Goblin Paladin with loads of charisma and absolutely no self-awareness. It is lots of fun being the chaos member of the party.
Oh yeah, I've been playing with Warlock a lot lately, so you're getting a lot of charisma stats as well. So it's been very fun, but more of the cold intimidation side of charisma, not as much of the bard-like life of the party mischief type.
And it was that energy, that life of the party thing that when we started looking for student shoutcasters, made me go, hey, maybe I can get this student to pick up a microphone and go for it. The very first event, we kind of just snuck him a microphone, and then I kind of just shoved him into the middle of the floor, and we just watched the magic happen.
And a natural talent like that is always, it is rare to find, but it is not hard to find, because like you said, his presence is known. You knew he was going to be a natural at this. You knew it.
Oh, yeah, the minute he showed up for the team and started cheering the team on, a lot of times when we're doing Smash Brothers practice, he is clearly positioned himself to be next year's captain of the team. He's cheering everyone, getting everyone organized. Every now and then, he'll lower his voice and go into intimidation mode to keep people focused on what they're doing and not being too goofy. So he's got that right balance for a good leadership skill.
Hey, leadership skills to boot as well as charisma? That is amazing, right? To get into that keep focus, right? We goofing off, we having fun, but yo, it's time to play. Not just play, it's time to win, right? As much as we don't, as much as nobody's going to advocate caring extensively about the win, you have to care to a certain extent, right? We're here to win. We're here to play. The students know what competition is. You can sugarcoat it every which way, but the victory feels good and you want it. You're here to play and win, and if you don't, then you're here to learn. No matter which way, it's still a victory, but having that leadership potential to get everybody focused back in on the win and not just on the fun of the event, that is the balance that you seek in events like this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Still, everybody's getting set up for this next match versus Southeast Gold and Villa de Rey Elementary, as both of them took impressive victories in their last showing.
Now, Southeast Gold is a middle school, and Villa del Rey is an elementary school, so we might see some skill differentiation there. But that's also, like you said earlier, sometimes it can just be a learning experience.
And a learning experience it is, and there's, a little bit of experience different maybe, but, we've seen multiple times elementary schools come in and take the victories against some of these high school or middle schools, right? Sometimes the kids just got what it takes.
Here we get ready to go for the kickoff. Again, first to 3 points or 5 minutes.
And as we get into the later half of this event, I apologize if my voice does get a little bit cracky. I was on the cold last weekend and I got hoarse for the last couple of days and had to baby my voice to be ready for this event. So, if it doesn't last the whole time, it's just because I get too hyped and this game is awesome. So, your students are doing
completely
great.
Completely understandable. As a teacher, that's happened more often than not, that I'm recovering from something, my voice goes out. Usually that's when I grab someone like Isaiah who has the voice to carry, and I'm like, you're talking for me today. Get the kids in line.
Yes, indeed. And right now we are watching, like we said, Southeast Gold in the blue, the confusing name again. Don't forget, in Villa de Rey in the orange side of the field. And right now we have Southeast trying to bring it back onto their side of the net to bring it to a teammate perhaps. But now Villa de Rey on an offense with a shot almost on target. It does fly just wide left of the goal. Now, can Southeast make it happen? Almost able to push it out of their own zone, but does get bounced out. Now the second player coming in, and I love that 1-2 motion. That shows a little bit taking turns. That shows a fair understanding of what rotation should be in this game. Bringing it around now, we have it still on the blue side as two players on Villa de Rey are keeping the offense power on the side of Southeast, not allowing this to leave the blue half of the field. And you have I'm starting to get the feeling that these kids just might actually have what it takes.
Absolutely. We've been doing this now for about over a year, and I've actually gotten to see my kids, and then I see these elementary school kids who are bringing this level of skill, and I'm like, my goodness, if they keep practicing, what are they going to look like when they get ready to graduate and go to college?
Oh, they're going to look absolutely fantastic, especially if they're playing it all the way that long, right? Rocket League in and of itself is a 7-year-old game right now, and the pros have 10, 15, 20,000 hours invested into it. But this is, again, over a 7-year game. These kids have been getting this early, and this is esports, and it's not looking like it's right? There's no other game. Like, you can look at this and see that there's nothing else that's going to give this fix, right? There's different, take the shooter genre, you can get other shooters. Take the combat genre, Smash Bros that we have going on in the background, you're going to get other fighters. You will never have another game quite like this as individually mechanical it is, as teamwork as it is, as free-flowing as a real sport. This is the esport that is most similar to real-life sports that I've ever seen. This is not going anywhere, guys. This game will be going strong when your kids graduate. And off the bat, Villadale Ray proving the point these kids just got what it takes.
Excellent job there by Villadale Ray scoring the first goal. And like you were saying earlier, we're hearing the kids cheer back there a little bit, cheering each other on, support each other. We're now 0-1 in favor of Villadale Ray with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left on the clock.
And I love that it's gone this long before the first goal is scored. That shows a good level of competition as Southeast has to put more aggressive defense, has to be extra observant and extra aggressive on the defense. You see their 2 players go and the third one gets there. That is a good sign of rotation. Now to their offense is mimic that same rotation style. Nice little ball shot there. Now coming in with an open net. He takes his time, he lines up the shot, and it doesn't even touch the ground before it goes in. You can hear the students cheering in the background back there as they know that shot was clutch. Look at that, never touches the ground, taking the time lining up. That's, guys. I have to tell you.
That was just a beautiful snipe shot right there. We're now at 0-2 with 1 minute and 36 seconds left.
Open nets, no matter what rank you are the most stressful, are the most tense, and the hardest to get. Wide open nets like that from across the field, there is a high chance with my 3,500 hours of this game, I would have missed that shot. A high chance. I'm not even saying it's likely or I could. I'm saying it is probable I would miss that shot. This took his time, lined it up, and nailed it in. That is mental focus at its finest.
Right now, it looks like all of Scotlandville is on the offense. I'm a little worried they're going to have an open net with another from across the field shot.
Oh, there's the opportunity. It does bounce off the post. Can it go in? And it does! A nice offensive showing. This is what happens when you get all 3 of your opponents, of your teammates on the offensive side in the right position. A nice little pinch off of the wall. And look, guys, I just hit my first pinch off the wall. That's what it's called when the ball gets in between your car and something else. And you get that like bar of soap effect where you squeeze the bar of soap and it pops out. That's a pinch. I just got my first pinch off the wall goal very recently. And he's over here just getting it nonchalantly. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest one. It's not high level, but it was a pinch off the wall into the net. I bounced it off the wall into the net a few times.
30 seconds left on the clock.
It's like just not there. I waited years to get that.
That is something that is a little frustrating. So I grew up with one of the original Nintendo systems, so I thought myself a pretty experienced gamer. And then I stepped into the field with my students and my athletes, and suddenly realized, oh, I am apparently either way out of practice or was never as good as I thought.
And that consistently is a frustrating thing, reality to come in. And now 5 seconds remaining. Scotlandville's trying to equalize it before time to bring it in overtime. They cannot. 0 seconds in. Villadale Ray felt the pressure. You can feel that tension release as they cheer audibly across the venue as that goal does not come in. Southeast put up a great showing on that second half, almost putting it in, almost bringing us to overtime, which would have been just clutch, Jeff.
It absolutely would have. Those overtimes can get very stress-inducing, also very exciting. And I have seen plenty of times when my own students have finished a long overtime, they stand up away from their desks and they just let their hands relax as their hands start to twitch from the nerves of having run that long, that hard.
The sigh of relief is often tangible. Even on online events, you can cut that tension and relief with a knife. And these longer overtimes that Villadale Ray did not want to get into, because Southeast was picking up. They were getting faster, they were getting stronger, they were holding offense for a longer period of time. If that went into overtime, there was a high chance that it would have been a very scary match. But they were able to hold on. Villa do take that victory and move on in the lower bracket of this event. And now we are done with the lower bracket, moving onto the field. We got everybody getting themselves set and ready for this next kickoff. We have ourselves Terra High School, again the mechanical gods of the event so far, versus Southeast Blue. Terra in the blue, Southeast Blue. That's not going to be confusing. On the side.
Apparently, the color scheme has not been in the Shoutcaster's favor tonight.
It really has not. And all right, there's a reason we do it like that, everybody. We're not just like intentionally being confusing. It has to do with the bracket and what number they are and where they show up. Just keep things consistent for the techs in the back that are changing the names every single match. But we do have to deal with the consequences of that.
And while we're on the topic, I do want to give a shout out to the East Baton Rouge Parish technical department, who has probably did not sleep last night, probably spent the past 24 hours setting this entire event up here at CTEC, getting the computers, the wiring, and everything. And considering that I only see 2 technicians here, just the amount of work and effort they had to put into that. So we wanted to give you guys a shout out. I don't know if they're listening, but they're great people.
Absolutely. You always give shout out to production because that is where the magic happens. We just come here and we just talk. We just get excited and yell about Terra High School scoring the first goal in 1 minute and 5 seconds. They have to press every single button that makes this happen.
And for those students who are at school and are thinking about joining esports, don't forget to also give a shout out to the people who make sure your school stays running. For example, you have your janitors who make sure that your lab stays clean. You have the cafeteria workers who make sure that you have food. The bus drivers, they get you to and from school. All these people that work together to get you not just into school, but into competition, into teamwork, into everything. There's a lot of things that happen behind the curtain that make all of this possible.
And of course, the teachers, sponsors, and student coaches that come in and make sure everything goes running just fine as Terra High School shows their dominance yet again. These guys just cannot be stopped. A nice little pass to himself off the sidewall, running up to chase it, unable on the side of Southeast. Southeast, unable to block that shot, get it there in time, barely missing the 50-50 opportunity in midair. And for anybody who's wondering, 50-50 is when you are beat with the ball in the middle, and it's generally considered a 50-50 probability on who will win or lose that. It's not, right? There's strategies to win those. There's strategies to make sure your approach to the ball is better than your opponent's and the ball pops in your favor. But those collisions, car ball to car, are called 50-50. We got Southeast Blue coming in nicely with a nice little aerial play of their own on the left corner of the defensive side of Terra, but quickly sent back onto their their own defensive end. Counterattack coming out from Terra, back and forth now across the midfield. The midfield line is the defensive point of the field. If you are not guarding your midline, you are not on offense, and that is exactly what we see Terra High School. They could not guard the midfield line, the 50-yard line, and the ball does cross under their defensive half, but quickly bring it back onto the other side, bouncing off the backboard. Can the Terra High School player get there? He does at least keep possession, unable to make it go any farther than that. A team pitch across field down into the corner, bouncing now into the side of the field. Southeast trying to make everything happen. An attempt at the 50-50, and there was an open net right there, but no third man there to put it away. And Terra High School in an unlikely situation with no third man from Southeast will take advantage of the backfield, opening up the Red Sea, parking the ball across the field into the orange net. Terra High School taking yet another victory tonight. This morning.
All right, that means that Terra High School is moving into the semifinals. Right up next, we're going to have Capitol Middle versus Westdale Heights Elementary School. So get ready to cheer on your teams, your students, as we get ready to talk about this next match that's coming up again between Capitol Middle School and Westdale Heights Elementary School.
I'm excited for this. Upper bracket matches always bring a spectacle as these guys fight to get themselves into the final leg of the tournament.
here we are right now with Capitol Middle versus Westdale Heights Elementary School.
Yeah, so there's going to be a little bit of a discrepancy on the overlay as you see Capitol Westdale Middle. It is actually Westdale Heights Elementary versus Capitol Middle School. Capitol Middle right now in the blue side, bringing it onto the offensive part of the field. Now you can see Westdale trying to stop it, but unable to make it happen. Now the man in the net needs to push out, but unfortunately his teammate got a little bit in the way of that and made it a little bit harder for him to make a but onto the offense it goes anyway, off the bounce off the wall. They are able to rally and get in behind it. You can see them still implementing at least one player on the full-time goalie strat. That means they will not have a third man, and offense will be easily lost if a big clear comes up. A clear is simply a big touch or a big bang on the ball that brings the ball farther down the field. Similar to that right there. That is a clear that we just witnessed, and it destroyed the offensive presence of Westdale, and the full-time goalie was unable to readjust his car in time to make the save.
That brings our score 1-0 with Capitol Middle School currently in the lead with just under 4 minutes remaining in this match.
Capitol Middle showing why they're here, showing what they want to do next. They want to keep on winning, and they're doing everything they possibly can to make that happen. Now that ball goes all the way back, and now Capitol Middle is also implementing a full-time goalie, but the double demo coming from the buddy. What teamwork right there. The danger was there. The 3v1 was in the net. That was not a good situation for Capitol Middle to be in. But the teammate coming in and absolutely demolishing the competition, making sure that there was nobody that could possibly stand up to him.
Once again, I want to talk about how they're doing such a good job working together as a team as they're trying to protect their net, and it unfortunately doesn't work out. Capitol Middle is able to score their second goal there.
Bump happening there, and you can see both players right there put their tail light facing towards the ball. The awkwardness that caused, which is why I mentioned earlier, right? Headlights are going to save the ball. Tail lights, you want to take that back post rotation, get your nose facing the play, facing the ball, just like that right there. A solid touch high up into the air. That's what you want on your defensive end. Nose facing the ball. Awkwardness right now out of Capitol Middle as they are struggling to move the ball out of their net. A shot coming on target, and it does get over all three of the defenders, launching into the upper 90, upper right-hand corner of the net. A great shot from Southeast Blue, popping that ball around the opponents.
That was Westdale Elementary, I believe, up against Capitol Middle.
Yep, my bad. Westdale Elementary had a nice shot there. I've been so used to saying all these different Southeast teams over and over again that it's easy to get a little bit mixed up.
Absolutely. That's one of the but you know what? It's a good thing because that means we have more students competing, more schools setting up teams, and the more we have, the better it's going to be in the future.
Westdale, as we speak of them, they put a little back pass to their person in the net, now bringing it solo across the field, a 50-50, going in the favor of Capitol Middle. Now bringing it onto the offensive side, onto the orange side, and that was a great save, skirting across the net. Westdale saves that game. Would have been the final goal, would have been an out. Now, can they wait long enough? No, they get impatient, and it does not go. No, it's a breakaway ball all the way down the field. And it will be Capitol Middle off of the misplay. Had they just been a second more patient, that would have gone in the net for them and they equalized that game. Instead, Capitol Middle, based off of patience and discipline alone, take that match.
Congratulations go up to Capitol Middle. They're going to move forward in the rankings, and Westdale Elementary Heights is now moving down to the lower brackets to eventually go up against BR High. But our next match is going to be Southeast Blue versus Villa Del Rey Elementary School. That's Southeast Blue versus Villa Del Rey Elementary School. We go for the kickoff. of Southeast Blue versus Villa Del Rey Elementary School.
Hey, Southeast Blue is on the blue side this time, Jeff. That's exciting to see because that's going to be a lot easier for us. Southeast Blue versus Villa Del Rey. Nice little fake right there. Bringing it now across the field to a teammate to pass it in. But it does not end up working. He does end up making 2 defenders out of there. Wheel sockets right there. The ball bearings probably need to be re-greased after that. Now up the wall, off the ceiling, and trying to take the ceiling shot, unable to make it land. Oh my goodness. Southeast. I want to say Southeast Blue are here to play, are here to show what they can do. And now the full-time goalie a little bit late on that reaction time, but is able to just barely get there in time to save that away. Keeping the score 0-0. Off this dominating performance, you do not want to be the team to fall back first because Villa Del Rey have shown themselves time and time again to be consistent, shown themselves time and time again to be strong, shown themselves time and time again to have a presence in the middle of the field as displayed by the Merc vehicle that they are using, the biggest car on the game, just a monster on that pitch. And Villa Del Rey have definitely embodied that spirit, bringing onto the field a presence that really makes it feel like it's hard to get past it, it's hard to do anything. They're not showing incredible mechanical prowess, they're not showing incredible ability to maneuver their car and the ball. What they are showing is an incredible ability to just be a presence on the field as that ball snites all the way across the field. Can it nail in? No, it doesn't. The second shot comes through. It also falls just shy of making it pixels away from opening up the first blood in this match.
Both teams, both Southeast Blue and Villa Del Rey, are clearly trying to make sure they make it to the final rankings. They're both giving it their all, fighting all the way.
This competition, these teams, these players just get better and better and better as the series goes on, as the festivities continue. Everybody is leveling up before our eyes, right? And the warm-up times are over, right? Everybody's played the game already, and Southeast Blue staying true to their dominating opening, to their ability to start this game, do get the first goal right at halftime. Exactly the way they wanted to open up this series, and opening it up they do. It took them a while to make it happen though, as this game definitely has drug a little bit for them as far as getting their offense established, getting their accuracy solidified. And let's take a quick look at the stats real quick just to see what each team has done on the field. We have Southeast Blue with 2 saves and only 1 shot on the day. But on the other side, Villa Del Rey has put 3 shots on the goal. So clearly Villa Del Rey is being aggressive. They are being in opposition. They are putting on pressure. They are putting on shot opportunities. But the quality of the shot just is in favor of definitely in favor of Southeast Blue at 100%, but they worked a long time to be able to make that happen at all. 1 shot at this stage of the game. You would like to see more.
And also, right now, we are about 2.5, maybe 3 hours into this, and so our students are exhausted. They have been playing, their fingers have been flying over the controls, the stress of constantly keeping an eye on the ball and things like that. They're going to be nerve-wracked and exhausted by the time this is all over.
60 seconds left on the clock.
Trying to get another goal. 42 seconds left. Villa Del Rey, if they're going to act, they have to act now. They've been one of the more vocal teams cheering in the background. But this time, Southeast Blue getting a nice touch, beating 3 players, being nice and patient, waiting for a teammate. So intelligent right there, waiting for his teammate to come over him and score that next goal. You can hear them cheering in the background as Southeast Blue, the nerves and tensions of the entire event lasting multiple hours, finally festering, and that was just a good team play, right? I love it.
Absolutely, and we are now less than 30 seconds from the match. I honestly thought there that Southeast Blue was going to make another shot on the goal right after the kickoff. And never mind, they did it anyway. That brings the final score 3-0 in favor of Southeast Blue. So Southeast Blue is going to move forward in this event.
And that came off as an unfortunate not the way you want to end it, but that's how it ends nonetheless. But what a play. Look at the ability of team play. And to avoid those own goals, by the way, everybody, if you want to try to avoid those own goal situations, when you rotate back post through your net, you want to get into the net ever so slightly and get behind the goal line. It is very hard to own goal from inside of your own net because every touch you make from there is most likely going to bounce outward and away. So, to avoid those own goals, stay inside your net. Or not stay inside, just dip inside and then hit the ball. Don't stay inside your net all day. That's going to leave your teammates upfield a little bit vulnerable. As we have seen a couple times today, the lack of rotation in some of the students and lack of experience to execute those rotational maneuvers have been a weakness for some of the teams that have already been eliminated. But as we continue on to this event, we are going to see Westdale Heights versus Baton Rouge High coming forward to this tournament. Westdale Heights is, and that's exciting to see. Westdale Heights Elementary all the way down here, they've moved through the bracket.
Right, and also kudos out to Baton Rouge High for their very first event showing up.
Yes.
And they haven't, they're still in this. They're still fighting for the final match.
Baton Rouge coming here, like you said, their first event ever. And as I believe like almost a last-minute entry team as well. They are showing up, right? Some of the students in here, recognizing me from subbing with them, had to come and greet me and like tell me that they were participating, tell me that they were playing, tell me to keep an eye out for them. And look, I've kept an eye out, and they have not disappointed one bit. They definitely seem like the team that if there's going to be a team to threaten Tara High School, the reigning 3-time champions of this event, Baton Rouge High School is putting their hat in the ring, and you cannot ignore that name.
Absolutely. And one of the players for Baton Rouge High has been to these events the past 3 months without a team. He just came to show up to support the league and to help out in any other way he could. And now that he's got a team here, I know he's really excited to see him.
Showing up just to support the league without actually having a team is a beautiful sentiment. That shows the dedication to not just the sport, not just the event, but your teammates, your classmates, the players, and just loving the sport, loving the event, loving the atmosphere that esports ends up bringing. And hey, this isn't as much of concern to everybody watching online, but locally here the Smash tournament has just ended, and we are getting put on the main screen now. So the final rounds of this Rocket League event will be shown.
And from what I understand, pretty soon here they're going to switch our mics over from not just Twitch stream, but to also the intercom system for this building. Oh, it's going to happen sooner than I thought.
All right, so a little bit of intermission in the action while we get everything set up for the next event.
It looks like the teams are getting in position.
Teams getting set and ready to take on this field, and we have Westdale Heights Elementary in the blue, Baton Rouge High School in the orange. And this will be a game to watch out for, as Westdale has been great on the field and Baton Rouge just cannot go downlessly this afternoon.
For those of you at home watching this, I'm not quite sure which team is which. Westdale Heights is in blue and Baton Rouge High is in orange.
A great shot right there from Westdale. Baton Rouge High School, I would have thought would have been the first openers of this, but Westdale taking a nice play up the side wall. Nice little pass or pop off the wall over to the middle of the net, and a great placement of that ball to get past all the defenders. And now we have Baton Rouge High School on their back leg as they got to try to recover and recuperate and get this comeback going. 4 minutes remaining, plenty of time to do it, but you also got to remember that score limit of 3 goals. You cannot let anything run away. You cannot let the score line get out of hand. Baton Rouge High School now taking it down the middle of the field, popping it over. Can a teammate come in the other support? He tries, but he's not there fast enough. The third man, though, going for the double tap off the backboard, and he gets it. What a high-level play to happen at this level of competition. 1, 2, 3 man making it happen in perfect distance and great mechanical prowess to get up in the air in time to slam that down.
That was just a beautiful goal I saw right there. We are 3 minutes, 57 seconds left in this match, and we are tied 1-1.
Baton Rouge High School wanting no part of the long game. They want to end this soon, but Westdale Heights Elementary. Good guys, this is elementary versus high school. These kids are on point. They're on fire. They've got what it takes. They can make it happen if they put in that effort, trying to set up what might have been a big addition a couple moments, but instead loses off his car. Great little piece of come around to try and play the defense. He does get a touch on it, but his teammates also finish with him. Third man comes in from the net to take this, pushing it nicely down the field, waiting for his opportunity. Sees a golden spot, but unable to get it past the next defender. Unable to leave when he probably should have. A little pop and confusion. An open net opportunity, but it is saved away by Westdale High, or Westdale Elementary. An open net for them, but they're unable to get around the ball in time.
Saved by the keeper.
Baton Rouge High taking a shot on the goal with Westdale coming in to defend it.
Westdale doing a nice job now to put it over to the side. A double commit forced out of Baton Rouge High School. They have to defend that at the last moment. Out coming around the net, it's awkward, and Baton Rouge is going to take it. You can see that happening whenever you saw the 2 players on the right side of the field from Westdale Elementary. You could tell that the awkwardness was there, right? That those 2 players in that zone gives the expectation out of the goalie that my teammates are going to go first. My teammates are going to help me, but and expect that once that ball enters the box, which is that zone right in the field, this field actually shows nicely that the reserve area in front of the net is going to be boxed. With the ball entered there, you can no longer expect teammate interference. You have to go as the goalie. It's such a confusing area that your teammates are really close to the ball and the box, and everything is right there in front of you. It becomes extremely wishy-washy, to say the least, on who is next in line.
Now, something I just learned about one of the Westdale Elementary players today. When you think of elementary school Rocket League players, you might think of 5th or 6th grade, right? One of the teammates, or one of the team members of Westdale team, is a 1st grader.
Oh, goodness.
Right?
Oh, wow. That is amazing. A 1st grader in here on the stage right there, in front of everybody, playing his heart out and showing us all what he can do. And Westdale is putting up one heck of a fight right now. And even looking at the scoreboard, you could tell this even distribution of opportunity has been given to all the players. Everybody's contributing, everybody's fighting, everybody's playing. And the opportunity now for Baton Rouge to put it away, but they cannot solidify that goal. Now, a breakaway opportunity for Westdale. Can they make it happen? An opportunity on the net. It's open, it's open, it's open! It goes in! Equalization in the last minute of the game. 2-2. Will this go to overtime? Will this be settled in regulation? The most competitive match we have seen so far is upon us.
And it's just beautiful to see these students coming out here and not even giving an inch.
Not an inch. Reaching for a mile, but conceding mere centimeters at a time. The ball now bouncing along along the outside. Baton Rouge making a nice pass, and that is it. They make it happen. Look at the subtle care that he took, bringing this ball nice and slowly in that little pop right there. That is a little bit high level of a pop, right? Because the knowledge comes in that you can't just put the ball in front of the net. It's not enough at this level of play. It's not enough to just drag the ball in front of the net, right? Because you got to bring your teammates so close to the net and the ball so close to your opponents that if a mistake happens, you do not have teammates in the backfield to happen. So what do you got to do? You know, to make a back pass. You need to pop the ball away from the wall. Baton Rouge High School understood this, took its time. That player slowly getting onto this and popping it backwards. But Jeff, the highlight of that game was by far that beautiful backboard read by Baton Rouge High School to open up their scoring line.
So we're getting ready to go up now with Southeast Middle School blue team going up against Baton Rouge High.
Alrighty, everybody. We are getting set and ready to go yet again. We've got Southeast Blue and Elementary School versus Baton Rouge High and obvious High School. We are extremely hyped to see these elementary school students taking the fight this far up the bracket. And look, they're just as hyped to get on to it. So here we go. Southeast Blue in the blue. Baton Rouge High is again in the orange, as they will be if they continue winning for the rest of the competition. But if they drop a game, if they drop this game, that will be the end of the journey. Everything on the line right now as they fight for their place in the winners finals. In the grand finals, I'm sorry.
Right now, Baton Rouge High is running the offense against Southeast Blue. But Southeast Blue is able to bring up a good defense here and get the ball closer down the field. You can tell both of these teams have earned their spot into these final rankings because their defenses are solid, their teamwork seems to be working together.
And these are things that we love to see, Jeff, as we watch this competition unfold. The level of teamwork coming in, the ability to make a 1-2-3 push, the ability to make sure that one person's always in the net on the defensive stances, and then bring 3 people onto the offense when it's time to do that. These are different skills that are going to show long-term success in events like this.
Southeast Blue is managing to keep the ball on Baton Rouge. Never mind. I was going to say they're keeping it on Baton Rouge High's side of the field.
And quickly, Baton Rouge High is bringing the ball back onto an offensive push, but not for long. Baton Rouge needs to retreat onto defense. They do keep it in the middle of the field, which is a great job to save that ball. Trying for the 50-50 in front of the net, trying to just muscle his way into the goal. Unable to rotate his ball around to get that second jump. Now, great clear back to the high school, having great third man presence. Up in the air he goes, trying to make another backboard read, another double tap opportunity. Trying to get it in there, dragging it around. Now all 3 players keeping the offense solidified, keeping the ball contained, but too little, too late as they bring this as Southeast is able to bring their offense on the field. Back guys trying to keep it away from Baton Rouge, but no avail. Baton Rouge just a little bit faster. Coming down to the middle field. Southeast has an opportunity. The fake does not work. It is expertly attempted on that midfield play. Unable to fake out the attacker. Another double tap attempt and the same exact opportunity. And now the breakaway for Southeast, and they do take the first goal. We need to see Baton Rouge have a little bit more discipline on their back line if they're going to stop these breakaway opportunities from happening every time they go up for dramatic plays.
One thing I was going to notice, Coach, is that I don't think we're going to make it to 7 points. I think we're going to end up just finishing the game or even going into overtime. Neither one of these teams seems to be willing to just let the other team make enough points to get it up to 7.
And this is a common thing, right? When both teams have a heavier emphasis on defense rather than offense, it is going to be a common thing. And look, right, defense is a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive, right, to stay in the net, and especially in this one, the grand strategies don't happen. And Southeast taking yet another one. Baton Rouge High School is put on their last leg. This group of elementary school students is about to show us why they are the best in the building.
One minute and 29 seconds left in this match. We are currently 2-0 in favor of Southeast Blue.
Opportunity now for Baton Rouge High School, unable to make it happen as the Southeast defender is able to take the ball away, still getting in the way. A nice little cut into the rotation right there, bringing the ball out in front, and an opportunity for the defenders there. Oh no, a miss upfield. It's over. I'm sorry, it's over. That is in the breakaway ball off of the misplay in the midfield. I choked over my own words. A great patience by the upfield player on the side of Southeast Blue, as that would have been a dangerous ball to go for. Instead,
Just over a minute left in this match, and we are currently 3-0 in favor of Southeast Blue.
it is not looking good right now for Baton Rouge High School. It is looking like everything's said and done, but a breakaway opportunity yet again for Southeast, as the third man from Baton Rouge is just non-existent, pushing up too far with the offense. A little bit of a committed. Now, an opportunity for Baton Rouge to have their own breakaway. 40 seconds remaining, and they do slot in one. There's still plenty of time, guys. 40 seconds remaining. They can come back in this. It would not be easy, though, but nice little move to bring him behind the defender that he took upfield, took him right out of position, and the Baton Rouge attacker was just able to slip right behind.
Let's see if Baton Rouge High can come back from this and bring it up to a tie, or even take the victory from Southeast Middle.
Tie would be a great thing to see at this point, as Baton Rouge need to fight tooth and nail. Oh, a nice pop over one, a pop over two. Can he catch back up with it in time? It bounces heavily off the wall. Is the third man there, able to put it in. 14 seconds remaining. He's going up to try to bring it in. No, 9 seconds down. They need 2 goals. It does not seem likely. It's not seem probable, and now it has reached the realm of impossibility. A great game by both squads, but it will be Southeast Blue who take the victory.
Southeast Blue is now moving into position to be competing in match number 17. Our next matchup will be Terra High School versus Capital Middle.